west of Chicago, there is a small, secluded cemetery known as Bachelor's Grove, and it is one of the most haunted places in the United States. Author Brian K. Morris brings you a collection of writings that will help you navigate this ghostly graveyard, if you dare. The Haunting Scripts of Bachelor's Grove is available now on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Welcome to Clever Title Pending with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, and former mortician's assistant. Don't send him title recommendations because Brian knows exactly what he's doing. So just sit down and look pretty as Brian K. Morris scrolls through your comments and plays with his mouse. Join him on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, for Evening Pandemonium and Moonlight Madness.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to you. How the heck are you? Welcome to Clever Title Pending for Tuesday, January 26, 2021. Glad you're here. Whether you're watching us on live and can interact with our very, very special guest tonight, Lacye Lembcke, or you're watching us on the reruns, hope you enjoy what you see here tonight. If you're watching us on Facebook, please, if you enjoy any part of this video, like that video if you would. Also like the place that you're watching it on, namely the Rising Tide publishing page on Facebook. And if you're watching us on YouTube for the better sound and picture quality, be sure to subscribe and give that video a thumbs up, and be sure to tingle that little bell so you'll be notified of any future appearances. We want to thank Plasma Fire Graphics, as always, for being our sponsor tonight. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Also want to say hello to our listeners on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Spotify, and other wonderful podcast venues. Thank you for supporting us there. And also, speaking of support, thank you to our Patreon members, and we will be mentioning them frequently. Thanks to these guys and gals, we are on the air and trying to improve all the time. And we'd appreciate if you became our Patreon on Patreon. Just look for Brian K. Morris, all lowercase, all one word. And if that's not enough, Geek Insider, thank you for powering this show. And also thank you for Meredith Logren, who is responsible for a lot of the look of this show. And thank you very much for watching. Now, after all that, we're going to get to our guests. And the reason we're a couple minutes late tonight is that the two of us we're talking, and we are old friends, or I'm old, but we're veterans of the con circuit that we have not been a part of in the last year, and we'll be touching on that. And we also look forward to your questions and comments. We'll be reading questions as we can and putting comments up on the screen, which isn't going to help our iHeart or Amazon or Spotify people much, but anyway, we'll make mention of them as we can. But anyway, my friend here is a very talented lady, a wonderful writer, and she has grown so much in recent years. She started out getting her work published by other people, and now she is a confirmed self-publisher herself. Her work is available on Amazon, and now it is my delight to unmute her and bring her up on the screen, the one, the only Lacye Lembcke. Lacye, how you doing tonight, hon?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here too. Now, Like I said, Lacye is available. Her work is available on Amazon there. Just do a search for her name. She's got 3 books, I believe. Plus, she's got a website, Dope, or no, or is it a website? I know you've got a page on Facebook, Dope Bunny and Clyde.
It's a web series on YouTube.
Right. And still working on that. So, anyway,
Still working on it.
yeah, these things are work in progress, right?
Yeah, but we do have the first 2 episodes up and available for viewing on YouTube. So you can see that, it's not just a slacker project. It's stuff we put, time and effort and a lot of really hard work into. That's just now we got to try to find a way to get something done remotely because we all can't, we used to just record in the SIU Student Center.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can't.
Oh,
So.
yeah. And that's Southern Illinois University for anyone who thought maybe it meant Subaru International Underground. But anyway, Lacye, I'm going to give you the. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Lacye, or post birthday.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. 35 looks great.
Oh my God, and you look great for 35.
And it looks even better through the bottom of that glass.
I can imagine. People ask me, have you accomplished anything during the My Sharona Miley Cyrus Peter pandemic? And I say, yeah, I drink a lot more than I used to. So at least I got something done. Anyway, Lacye, we're going to let you have the spotlight here. You get the floor. Tell these people who you are and why you are so amazing.
All right. So who I am is I am a writer and I write some books. This is my young adult adventure called Zen of the Misty Vales. There's a second part coming out. That one, if you like fairies and witches and dragons and things like that, you'll enjoy that. It's not a super long read. I don't write super long stories, really. I have a novel started, but it's a horror novel, and for a long time it was kind of putting me into a really weird sort of negative headspace. So I had to halt work on that. But then I have my comedy that I go back to, my Dope Bunny and Clive. And so that one chronicles the story of a toy bunny that comes to life and befriends the man who finds him. And together they try to get through this thing called life and with their friends and their hopes and their dreams. It's also political satire, but we're not going to get into that. Then I have my horror books, which is what I started off doing. This is my first Nightmare Oasis. The cover was drawn by a 16-year-old named Carla Keel. She's a really sweet girl. And then the second cover was drawn by the talented Candace Camilleri, who's helping me on another project that I have my first children's book to be published soon. Hopefully soon, at least something during the pandemic or something else during the pandemic, because that's when I did Zen of the Misty Vales, was the first half of COVID. When we very first got shut down, I went ahead and finished it up and published it. But I guess other than being a writer, I have done modeling. I am a housewife right now because I can't work because I have health issues. So I have RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease. And so that has really hindered me being able to work during the pandemic. So I take a lot of this time to work on new projects, finish up old projects, and try to get through, try to cope as best I can by keeping myself occupied, keeping my projects going, at least in some capacity. Because I know, like everybody else, it's been hard. You try to get the drive and the gumption, or, even, your income source for it, so you have your GoFundMe like I have for my Silas Slaughter, or I have, I just post links to my Amazon because you can find all my books there. So this one has 10 stories, and then the second one has 20. And then there'll be an accompaniment that has extended stories and some added new ones called Tales from the Bonfire, hopefully to be released by next Halloween. Was supposed to be by this Halloween, but that just October during COVID was not a fun time. It was really problematic, but well. Like Brian said, it was just my birthday. This is one of my birthday presents. It's a little Woodford Reserve that I get to enjoy. I turned 35, like I said. So I think for, everything that I've done, I've had what I call a Homer Simpson-esque line of jobs. I've done kitchen work most of my life. I've worked in the carnival. I've worked in hospital dietary. I was a pastry chef. I worked in the zoo at the St. Louis Zoo. I've done all kinds of things. And but yeah, so.
And before anyone asks, no, the zoo isn't where the two of us met. Okay, I want to make that real clear right now. No zoo would have me. But anyway, no, I'm glad you're here. I've been wanting to have you
Yes.
on the show for the longest time. And I found, and we have your comments, friends, and we'll be getting to them. We'll put some of your faces on the screen here or your words on the screen. But we've got probably close to 100 comments already.
Already,
Already,
wow.
and some questions coming in. But I want to start out this one with somebody we were just discussing
Okay.
before the show, and it was with great love, the one, the only Candace
Oh,
Mary.
hi.
Candace, we love you. We love you so much. And she did the cover for Nightmare Oasis 2.
Yeah,
And
it was
she and I,
awesome.
oh my God, how can you not buy that book now?
I
And
know,
anyway,
for real.
yeah, really. Go to Amazon, people. Look her up. Look a place up, and buy her books. Damn it. Anyway, also, Candace and I will be working on Pulp Reality from Stormgate Press #2. Candace, I'm currently finishing up that story, so hopefully give you some good stuff to draw. But anyway, please hire this woman. She is wonderful. We love you, Candace. Thank you for being here. And the first person in the door tonight, we always make mention of that, was Teresa Dunn. Mwah, good
Hi,
evening to
Teresa.
you. And Carl Witzman. Hello, we know Carl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Carlene, and everyone's saying hello to each other.
Hello.
And the one, the only Willow Skylar is
Hi.
here. Mwah, I'm trying to make both your names rhyme, darn it. Anyway, Willow's Pillow Talk last Sunday was really fun. She had members of the Rising Tide Broadcasting Network, of which we are a part. Great show, and everybody's saying hello and getting through those. And we do have some questions. And there's Ted Davies Artistry. Great show this morning with Amy Hale. If you haven't seen TED Talks, please watch that. And Pops Van Zant, good to see you. Happy birthday, Lace.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, and Willow's saying hello to everyone, and Pops, and Cindy Kemp is here, our chief inquisitor. Good morning, folks on the other side of the planet. Cindy, glad to see you here. Mwah. And Jeffrey Hayes of Plasma Fire Graphics. When the look of your book matters to you, check out plasmafiregraphics.com. Also, Plasma Fire Graphics on Facebook. And Trevor Hawkins.
Hi.
You should know him from the Superman celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
Trevor. Yeah, and Michaela Jade here. Glad to see you. And good evening, Pendarians, says Nicholas Anthony Tockard. You know Nick Tockard?
Live and uncensored.
That's right. Oh my God. Yeah,
That'll be sooner than expected, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'll make it up the ladder one way or another.
That's right, by God. Yeah, she'll, she's going through that whiskey pretty fast. Next thing you know, she's going to be dancing on the table. I've already got my singles ready. And and Cindy goes, how in the world are you? We are good. Good to see you.
Doing good.
Yeah, and Paul Bush. Paul, good to see you. T.L. Shively, remember her from the Silk Con?
Oh, yeah, I remember
her husband. And he came to see us. Yeah. And Clyde Hall, good evening to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And now Cindy Kemp has the first question. We're going to hold off on that a little. But first, I want to get to set the stage here. Now, tell us, how did you decide you wanted to become a writer? What led up to it? And then what led up to your being published?
Okay, so what led to me being a writer was I've always loved reading ever since I was a little girl. And so I just decided to make my own stories. And I wrote for my teachers and things like that, and wrote little stories for my parents. And I just sort of kept going. And And then eventually, as I reached a point in my life where I'm like, well, I think, it's gotten calmed down enough and I'm somewhat stable enough that I can invest some time and money into this. And then that's when I just sat down and I made myself write out the first 10 stories. And that's when I went to Cherry House Press, Ariana R. Cherry, and said, hey, I met you through Brian on his show. Never mind the furthermore, you're a publisher. Can you hook me up? And it sounds as simple as 1, 2, 3. This took I don't even know how long from point A to point B, at least a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing. A lot of people think that, I'm just going to send out my manuscript and we're done.
Yeah, I'm the
People
next
don't seem to
Stephen
realize.
King.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Stephen King's probably got his publisher waiting at the door. It's for whenever he gets something done, which is all the time. But a lot of people don't realize that there is a process to it because the manuscript has to be edited, it has to be formatted. You have to get a paint artist for your cover. You have to get your marketing set up. There's just a whole lot of moving parts that have to happen before a book goes from your hands as the author to the customer's hands. So, a lot of people don't realize that. Now, after you worked with Cherry House Press for the first couple of books for Nightmare Oasis, which, by the way, page 19 of the first Nightmare Oasis made a whole bunch of people clench in a room.
Yeah. I actually do kind of feel a little bit bad.
Not enough, I'm sure.
Not enough bad,
enough
bad, but a little bad.
A little bit, just a little teeny,
just
teeny
enough to let you know I'm actually a good person, that I do have a conscience.
She is, which she ignores frequently. But anyway, which is why we get along so well. But anyway, and I also want to caution people: dropping my name does not always get positive results, so use it sparingly. But anyway, after being published by Ariana, then you published Zen of the Misty Veils on your own.
Yeah, through KDP.
Through KDP. Now, what was your thinking on doing this by yourself rather than, say, offering it to Cherry House Press or another independent publisher?
I had offered it to another publisher that was based as a more fantasy-oriented publisher, but they never got back to me, even though they, expressed great interest. Meh. So I was like, well, I don't want to wait anymore, and I don't want to keep sending this out to keep getting turned down. So I have the tools. I have KDP available to me. It's got a step-by-step tutorial about how to use it, and a little help here and there, and I had it uploaded within a week.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you have developed a network of people who have, stand by ready to help, which is why I keep stressing that one of the things you should do when building your career is get that network together. It's called making friends.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it took me a minute to get into the con circuit, but I did that through Eclipse Con. That was before it was Saluki Con.
Right. Now, was that your first convention?
Yeah, that was my first one. Because Nathan Bonner, who does the art for Dope Bunny and Clive, he is one of the operators of it. Right. And so he got me in on that. And while he was selling his Indavo and Shama Stone and all that. And so I get in with him, and then later when they decided to keep it, he's like, yeah, come back, and we're going to call it Saluki Con. And then I came back the year after that, and and then I want to go back hopefully whenever it's safe enough again.
Exactly. Yeah, that would have been where you and I met at Eclipse Con then. That's true. Yeah, because every now and then, like my friends, like you, I feel like I've known you all my life, and but it's I was trying to think the other day. I was talking to somebody, and it's like, where did we meet? And I'm like, I don't remember.
I've had that happen a lot. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, I can't for the life of me remember how I met this person, how I know them. Yeah, not one clue.
True. Yeah, but I'm glad we did. I am glad we did. So,
it's proven fruitful.
It has for both of us. And Cindy Kemp would like to know now, how challenging was it to switch to self-publishing? Did you have any sort of trepidation about it, or was it full steam ahead?
I was nervous, but just more, like I want it done, I want it done, I want it done, I want it done, I want it done and done. But because
Yeah.
I'm impatient, but that's just a thing I got to work on. So, but it was a little bit hard that way because I had to do a lot of those tweaks that Ariana would just do as part of it that I never thought about. So, and that's why I'm like, okay, well, if I load it like this, like this, like this, like this, and then,
Mhm.
trial and error. But it was more rewarding to self-publish. While it was awesome to be published, it is more rewarding to be self-published.
Mhm. I agree. Now, would there be a chance that if the circumstances were right, that you would go and be published by somebody else in the future? Do you see that happening?
If I were to get published by somebody else, I would hope that it would be Penguin House because they're the books that are chosen for the Dolly Parton literacy program.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So then, and I have more children's books planned. So I was like, well, because all of those are automatically in that literacy project, every book from Penguin Publishing. So
That's
if I were to
excellent.
do it, I would do that.
That's great. And see the value of a plan, people. And Cindy Kemp wishes you a happy birdie to use. She is a bird mom. So,
Oh,
so, uh,
okay. I'm a cat mom, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
badly, I think. And Jared Osborne
happy
says,
go happy go lucky birthday. Thank you, Jared.
there we go. And Anthony Bouveau loves political satire. So
Oh
there we go. So
yeah.
check out the Dope Bunny and Clive page
Yes, you'll
on
like it.
Facebook. Yeah, you will. You will. And she does keep contributing to it because I was checking it out. And Cindy Kemp would like to know, by the way, CKOEPP.com. Cindy's newsletter went out like a day or two ago. If you didn't get it, your life is empty and void of all joy. Please sign up for it today. Cindy Kemp wants to know, what's your favorite writing snackage? What do you like to feast upon while you write?
Oh, popcorn for sure. I love popcorn. Um, M&Ms. I love M&Ms and corn chips, like
Yes.
Fritos.
Yeah, I hear you. And Jason Snyder of Non-Con says, good
Hey,
evening. Good evening to you, Jason. Hope you're having a great evening. Looking forward to Non-Con the last weekend of September. Hopefully we can all get out. And if you can get out then too, I recommend you be there because it's a whole bunch of us going to hang out there. And Cindy Cap says, you write in many genres. Which one's your favorite?
my favorite is still the horror genre. That's my first one. That's my baby. That's the one I'll always go back to. So I guess yeah, still the horror one.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, she also wants to know, do you read in the same genres you write in?
I read in all the genres. I love everything from fantasy to romance to um, whatever else you want to throw out there, historical books. Even, I've even read the Communist Manifesto. I'll read almost anything.
Yeah, I've read that. I've also read Chairman Mao's Little Red Book, and I
I
also
haven't
read
read that.
that's a slog. That is a real slog.
I actually just finished The Catcher in the Rye not too long ago.
Oh, really? Well, what'd you
Yeah,
think of that? What'd you think of that?
I really enjoyed it. I actually wish that I had read it a little sooner in my life, as I could kind of see my old 16, 17-year-old self as a uh, disheartened Holden Caulfield, mad at the world. Like,
Yeah,
because I mean, that's everybody at 16, 17.
pretty much, or at least
Yeah,
they should
so
be.
if you aren't a despondent teenager, you aren't a teenager.
That's right. You're not doing it right.
Yes. If you
So
aren't sad and miserable and kind of alone and lonely, then you're not doing it right.
yeah,
And
and see how
things
that
will
would have
cover.
that would have trained everyone for the thing we're in now. See, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead, Lacey.
And that was, in TV shows where they show these like perfect 22-year-olds with clear skin and perfect hair and makeup. And I'm like, you all are just
Yeah.
just knock it off with your Luke Perry trying to stuff.
And in my day, it would have been the Brady's. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
Anthony Bovo wishes you a very, very happy birthday, Lacey.
Oh, thank you very much.
And says that he has autoimmune issues too. He has, and I know I'm going to
Lymphedema.
mispronounce this, lymphedema.
Lymphedema. Yeah.
Okay, but these are trying times for all of us. And Carl Witzman says Woodford Reserve, Lacey and I drink the same bourbon. Nice.
Yes, I do like me some bourbon. They asked me what I wanted, and I like wine and I like whiskey and stuff like that. But I was like, no, I want a nice bourbon.
I hear you. And Michaela Jade, well, glad to see you here. Happy birthday, fellow Aquarius. Mine is tomorrow.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Yeah, and Teresa Dunn would like to work in a reserve. I'm thinking of the kind of reserve that Carl and Lacey have, but I can work through that.
Yeah.
Anthony Bovo says, very nice cover, very awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor Hawkins wishes you a happy birthday. And Dave Woodrum, glad you're here, buddy. Hope you're having a good day so far. And Anthony Bovo,
oh, you live in St. Charles.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, and you've lived in that area too, didn't you? For a while, you were around the St. Louis area, right? For a while.
I still live in Granite City.
Okay. Oh,
so he's not too far.
And somebody else from St. Louis, Jackie Nelson. Mwah, Jackie, how you doing, darling? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Lacey is an amazing friend, says Teresa Dunn. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Michaela has a good question here. She wants to know what made you want to be a writer. Now, a lot of people do writing just for hobbies, just for fun, fan fiction, what have you. But what made you decide you wanted to go pro with this?
I needed to sate that little voice inside my head that said, this is what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, when I took on the very first thing that I wrote wasn't the books. That was the very first books that I published. The very first thing I wrote was the scripts for Dope Bunny and Clive. And so that was where I first started it out, was script writing. And I had, this is all the way back in 2012. So I didn't really have the resources that we have now. So believe it or not, I sort of got a backhand guide through Family Guy commentary on DVDs, because I'm a Family Guy fan. I love it. I know it's gross toilet humor. I don't care. It's great political satire. I adore it. And I'm a commentary junkie. I love special features. I want to hear him talk about making the show. And then I kind of realized I'm getting this secondary education from all these college educated people, basically giving me a free screenwriting class. And so I started taking notes and started developing this script from this vague idea I had in my head to formulate it. But what made me want to be a writer was what made me want to be an entertainer. I want to tell a story.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Now, Cindy Kep has a few jokes for us tonight. What do you call a line of rabbits hopping backwards? A receding hairline.
That's cute.
I can relate. Anyway, Teresa Dunn asks, what made you like working in a reserve?
Oh, I didn't work in a reserve. I worked in a zoo. I worked in the St. Louis Zoo. And I didn't work with any of the animals. I worked in the Lakeside Cafe, which is the big restaurant with the big clock tower in it. That's where I worked.
Okay. Cool.
So.
Oh, TL Shively says hello, Orko. That's me. And hello, Lacey.
Hello.
Oh, glad to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Anthony Beveau, what do you love most about horror and writing?
I like the suspense of horror. My favorite genre of horror is psychological, because I like the keep guessing and things like that. I like a little bit of mystery and, things like that. What I love about writing is being able to get an idea out of my head that is just a little fog, and then be able to tell this whole amazing story and create a whole new world for people to enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Cindy Kemp says, how do rabbits travel? By airplane. Oh my God, we love you, Cindy. CKOEPP.com. And Teresa Dunn wants to know, what do you love most about the people you meet at shows and online?
Oh, Jesus. Everybody
You can
brings
include him
something.
too. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, really. Everybody has such a distinct personality. When you meet other people like us, how you think you're so shy, but you can't be to do something like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you come about all these really interesting people. And so I think that's my favorite part, is I get to meet not just fascinating other authors and other artists, but just people from all over the place. Like, I met a lady at EclipseCon that was from Cornwall, England, that came just to see the eclipse.
Right. Yeah. I remember you
Yeah,
mentioning
so,
that.
and I love that. I love to meet new people and have new experiences and things like that. So, and I'll throw myself full force into them.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting people online is so much fun, and networking is a great thing for me, because I'm not very good at, I guess, making connections on my own. So having a whole big thing like the Rising Tide Network really helps.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you in it. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Cindy Capital asks, how do you know carrots are good for your eyes? Because you never see rabbits wearing glasses.
I guess I need some more carrots, huh?
Oh God, I know where mine are in the in the basement, in the refrigerator. Now, to amplify on Teresa Dunn's question, and I get this question every now and then: have you had any negative interactions with your public, or with other creators? Let's say other vendors, whatever you want to
Mm.
call
Yeah, I have, but I try not to think about them too much. I try not to let them get me down, because I understand you're not always going to meet the best people. And I know that I'm starting out and I'm just learning and things like that. But yeah, I have had some bad experiences, but that's with any new endeavor and meeting any new people. You're going to have to accept that risk.
it. And
So,
the good probably more than outweighs the bad.
yeah, I mean, the bad stuff happens, but I mean, I just use it as fodder for my work, and I go forward.
Hmm.
'Cause I mean, I there's nothing else you can do.
That's true. That's true. Now, have you ever killed anyone in any of your fiction after one of these encounters?
Yes.
Good girl. Proud of you.
Fiction death is very cathartic.
Yes, it is. I'll vouch for that. Candace Comaleri says, Shirley will get the children's book out, sending love, and is still super excited.
Yes, because
That's what
she
we love.
showed me her preliminary work for the cover of it, and it was just so fun and colorful and bright, and I loved it. And so,
Hmm.
like, I really can't wait. Because my mother-in-law was an educator. She was a teacher for many, many years down in Texas. And
Oh,
she read it, and she's like, I would absolutely use this for my kids to
oh,
teach
no.
them about animals.
Oh, how very cool. Very cool.
Hmm.
And Candace, I was telling Lacey that your Skyman portrait I've got on the opposite wall of my office here,
I
and I
think
look at
I see that when I came down.
Yeah, I believe I showed you. I believe I showed you. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, if that was up there when I was visiting, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, Trevor Hawkins would like to know, what aspects of the act of writing fuel your passion the most?
The act of writing.
Yeah.
What aspects of the act of writing fuel your passion the most? I'm not
Yeah.
really sure how to answer that.
Is there a part of the process of writing itself, in
Hmm.
all of the moving parts that go along with it, the creativity? Is there an aspect that really spurs you on? Like, like in my case, for instance, having like a basic idea and then watching it kind of mold itself as I'm writing. Which I'm
Okay.
finding right now because I'm writing a book without an outline just to see
Yeah.
if I can do it. Is there a part of your writing process that makes you say, well, man, this is where I need to be. This is what's
Oh,
keeping me going.
so basically that for me is whenever I'm doing character backstories. That's when I kind of immerse myself into it. And so it's kind of like knowing the secrets of a person and then writing like I've known them for 20 years.
Very cool. Very cool. And then introducing them to everyone else.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
this is my friend that lived inside my head for 7 months. Would you like to meet them?
Yeah. And do you realize that this is the only way you could make that statement and not have a net thrown over you?
Oh my God, did I think I'd be in the nut house by now? Because I had a vivid imagination growing up.
Yeah. We probably still would have met. I'd be in there too.
Oh, yes.
Cindy Cap would like to know, is there a genre that you have not written in that you really want to?
I haven't written in, there's 2 ones. I haven't written any romance. I started one and then it just fell apart. The whole thing just dissolved. And then I've never written any like erotica or anything like that. So I think that would be really fun.
That's true.
Just because I think I can get really, really weird with it. And I think that would be really fun.
Yeah. Anyway, we can discuss that after the show. And Cindy Cap has a follow-up here. Is there a genre that you really just cannot see yourself writing
in? That I can't see myself writing in.
Yeah.
I don't really see myself being a religious author of any kind. Like I'm not writing any, like Kathy Jackson, she writes Christian romance. So I don't think that's, my forte.
Well, Kathy manages to put a little spice in hers.
She does. She does a good job at it, but that's her genre and she is the queen.
She is. And Cindy Cap now asks, what is a rabbit's favorite dance style? Hip hop. And we love you, Cindy. And Carl Winston says, I will now know to bring some wood for the next SilCon, whenever that is.
Yeah, SilCon 2032.
Yeah, possibly. Well, like many shows this year, SilCon, number of shows that that Lacye and I have done or were to do, no surprise, got canceled this year, maybe rescheduled for next. Do you have anything lined up for this year yet, or are you waiting for the vaccine to get a little more?
I'm waiting for the vaccine. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. It's one of the reasons I don't really go places now. I'm saving my pandemic points for Disney World, so
I have a friend who just came back from Disney World, and
nice.
and she is probably hyper paranoid about it. To her credit, I will say, and she said that she felt perfectly safe down there. That everyone was wearing masks, and that everyone were all of the guests, the attendees, were also compelled to wear masks and to wear them properly. So, and there are, and I will vouch, there are some shows out there where mask using is enforced, temperatures are taken. And, in fact, I did a show last October in Kokomo, Indiana, where the helpers were going around making sure people were not only wearing masks, but wearing them properly. And in fact, people couldn't get in without masks. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it's, those shows are out there, but I understand caution. So I really, because rather err on the side of it. So yes, please.
Yeah, with the autoimmune disease, if I catch COVID, it's it can be potentially fatal.
Mhm. I understand that.
Yeah.
And good evening to you, Sarah. Sarah, not the dark mistress of the Church of the Rising Tide. And Teresa Dunn is the same way, so she understands. Anthony Bavot goes, fun horror information. There we go. And we are now joined by the one, the only Bobby Nash. Bobby, good to talk to you earlier today. And Bobby Nash is going to be returning to Clever Title Pending very, very soon. Looking forward to that. And check out BobbyNash.com. And now here we go. Now, a lot of people, now I know you market yourself. You know,
Mhm.
you are very good at marketing. I'm very proud of you. Cindy Kemp would like to know, what is your favorite marketing trick? What do you think yields the best benefits for you as far as marketing your work?
Whenever I try to market myself, it usually works better when I'm not actually trying, when I'm actually, working on something else and then I just sort of drop it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it gets picked up. And then they're like, what? Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then
It's a good point. Go ahead, please. I'm
it
sorry.
was like word of mouth always is still like the number one. So those are my two favorites basically.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine after the Pegasus book fair, where many hearts were stopped by your page 19 reading. It's a horrific little story. We're not going to read it here on the air because we think you ought to buy the book and find out what it is.
Yeah, for that one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's worth the price of admission just for that one story. Because I remember I was sitting across the room and I wasn't really listening, but then I hear this from a whole bunch of grown people, and I'm like,
Hmm.
and there's
Yeah,
you,
I did not anticipate that reaction either.
yeah, and there
Yep.
was little you just standing up on the stage looking so innocent, like you hadn't
Yeah.
done anything wrong. Uh, and then I went home and read that story,
Hmm.
so but I shouldn't have been surprised anyway.
I had somebody throw the book back at me. I can't read this.
And now, how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel?
Proud and also slightly bad.
But more good than bad, right?
More good than bad. Like I felt bad that I felt proud.
Well, you got to react.
I think I felt worse for feeling proud of the fact that I scared this woman.
Oh my god, that's wonderful. And Jackie Nelson says, I totally agree. I love meeting people. I definitely enjoyed meeting both of you. I have learned a lot from you guys. Well, I love
Yeah.
you too, Jackie. You're awesome. And we learn from you too as well. You're
Yeah.
also a big inspiration. You really are. Cindy Cap asks now the musical question: where do rabbits go on after their wedding? They go on their bunny moon.
That's cute.
That's adorable. And Anthony Bavot says, fun horror info. Vincent Price was born in St. Louis. That's true. And has a Walk of Fame star in the Delmar Loop. That is.
Oh, and I've been on that and I didn't even see it.
I didn't either. I did see John Goodman's, though. But
I don't remember whose I saw, but we were down that way. I went to Blue Ocean for my birthday last year,
okay.
and you walk along that little Walk of Fame there. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, and he's one of my favorites. So yeah, I'll definitely have to go back there and look for his star.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Cookie and I saw it. We used to go to Blueberry Hill all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't see Vincent Price's, but we told ourselves that we got to come down here and look at all these stars, and we haven't gotten around to it. We got to do that sometime. But yeah, we love it too. And Jackie Nelson has killed people off in her books too.
Yeah, it's nice, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. It is therapeutic. Imagine probably one of Jackie's wears a fez and a bow tie. But anyway, and we just had a comment dump here. Thank you, StreamYard. And Cindy Kemp would like to know, and this is a good question here, what is the most memorable con interaction you've ever had?
The most memorable con interaction I've ever had or that I've ever seen?
Both. We'll get our
Okay.
money worth out of you.
All right. So the most memorable con moment that I have ever had was so now I'm trying to think because I've met so many really cool people.
Yeah.
But I would have to say the coolest con interaction wasn't even a personal interaction. It was when we were at Superman Celebration, and it was hot in that building, and the celebrities, namely Brandon Routh, made sure that we got all of the Subway sandwiches and stuff that they had sent down to us. And
Mhm.
so I used that as a tongue-in-cheek way to say Brandon Routh gave me a sandwich once.
There we go. YouTube been like this
Yeah.
ever since. I
So
know.
that was memorable in a very sweet memory kind of way from
Mhm.
a very uh, bad hot situation of being in a 98-degree lockbox.
Yeah.
And then the most memorable one that I have witnessed was at Dark History and Horror, where we had some people from LA get into it with some of the locals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that was pretty memorable. That was one of the most memorable things that I've ever been witness to.
Oh, and many more to come, darling. Many more to come.
I hope so. I need more crazy con stories because people don't believe me.
And I think the only people that might would be the people that have, like myself, that have done enough of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you get a different view of reality and of people uh, when you set up at these things. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So everybody get into the writing field. Prepare to be horrified. Cindy Kemp asks, "What do you call a rabbit who is angry over over getting in the summer? A hot cross bunny."
That's cute.
She's adorable. I love her. And she also wants to know, what's your favorite writing techie tool? Do you use a program or a device that really helps you in creating?
One thing, and it's something, it was the one that you recommended me, the Grammarly thing,
Hmm.
because that like really takes a lot of that, basic spelling crap that just takes a million years you don't even care about. Like, I don't care about this apostrophe, just publish it.
Yes.
But then I was like, okay, hey, it's got it, yay. And then that's all you got to do.
That's true. That's true. I'm glad I was able to help.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool. And Carl Witzman says, Anthony, Carly, and I have visited St. Charles and really like it.
it's
St. Charles is
nice.
a real nice place. It really is. And let's see. Carl Witzman wants to know if and when things ease up, and they will, Carl. They will ease up one day. What is the next convention that you'll probably attend?
I have no idea, honestly, but it would probably be around March or April, whenever it's safe enough to like go back out. So I'll have to see what's happening then and see what all is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, we'll have to talk because I've got a few shows that are lining up right now, but of course, depends on what's
yeah,
going on. So, and I don't want you endangering yourself, of course.
yeah.
You're worth waiting on. So, Anthony Bavo says, very cool. Carlin's a great place, especially Main Street, St. Charles, in spite of the current shootings. Yeah, aside from the shootings, it's a nice place.
Yeah, that's nice. Aside from the shootings and the mangled bodies and the dead
Yeah.
lying in the streets, it's a great place to live. Never
That's
mind the hordes of undead coming your way. If you lived here, you'd be home right now.
That's right, by God. That's right. Something to look forward to. And here we go. Sarah says, ooh, getting weird with writing erotica. That sounds interesting. I love the sound of it.
Well, I've written a few already that I actually let Brian read one. He gave me some really positive feedback on it. So I'm thinking about the next con that I'm at, just selling them for like $1 each, little stories, kind of like the old Penny Dreadful type deals.
Yeah, you probably aren't old enough to remember, like back when I was a kid. Marvel had put out a set of books, and they had like original art in them, but they were about the size of a postage stamp.
Mm-hmm.
They came in those little acorn-shaped plastic shells that you pop the flat end off, and it was kind of rounded like a test tube. And I was thinking something like that would be great, or those plastic Easter eggs. You could do your one-page story, fold them up, and say, "Okay, reach into here and get yourself, you know, an adult story." See,
Mm-hmm.
always thinking, trying to trying to
Yeah.
help you here. And talk about weird. I did check out Amazon one day. This is kind of an FYI. And I was looking at the stuff under erotica for other people, I'm sure, if my mother-in-law is watching, that it didn't make you feel better about humanity when you saw the genres. There are many different subgenres to erotica, and the one that was the most prominent at the time was how shall I put this? Lycanthropes and similar beasts. Half
Mm-hmm.
human, half not human.
Yeah, anthropomorphs.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to get weird, that's apparently the place to go. And of course, after talking about this, Carl observes, and now Sarah shows up. Uh, of course. And BrianRobin.com, look out for his brand new Kickstarter coming soon. He'd like to know what are your top 5 books of all time?
Top 5 books of all time.
Yeah, that's a great question, Brian.
Oh,
And
that is a good
knowing
question.
that it might change if I asked you this an hour from now.
Yeah, it can. Okay, for sure, Silas Marner. Um, I did enjoy Catcher in the Rye, so that's up there now. I've read Where the Redford Grows. I love that one a lot.
Okay, yeah.
There was a young adult book that I read a long time ago that I really enjoyed called Yours Truly, Love, Janie. And then if you want to count a series, then the Goosebumps series. But if you just want to count just a singular book, then oh gosh, I don't think I can classify just one last book. Probably Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Okay.
Or The Gambler.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah, and it's kind of refreshing to listen to you. Because that question comes up quite a bit on this show. And a lot of people talk about like contemporary authors or authors like say in the last 30 years. Which of course, we talk about horror. You're going to talk about Stephen King. You're going to talk about Clive Barker. Or adventure, you're going to talk about James Patterson or Clive Cussler. It's kind of refreshing to hear you go for the classics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also nice that you're getting because like when I was younger, when I was in school, we had to read a lot of the classics. I read outside of what was recommended. But do you think drawing from the more established authors, the more literary works, has helped you as a writer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Their style and their structure have really helped out a lot, especially when it comes to establishing outlines.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Because I mean, it's a tried and tested method. So
that's true. Yeah, it's got to be a classic for a reason. So yeah. And Anthony asks Sarah if she's a goth. Oh hell yes, she's a goth. With a capital G. And Michaela Jade wants to know, who is your favorite author? You don't have to say me. Please don't say me. I'll be so embarrassed.
My favorite author probably is still R.L. Stine.
Now, what attracts you to his work?
I like I think I just like the ease with which he can tell a story, and it's a good story.
Yeah, that's true. And Amy Hale says, "Hey guys, how you doing, Amy?"
Hi.
We love you, Amy. And let's see. And Michaela would like to know, how do other authors inspire you?
How do other authors inspire me? Well, I see when their work, and I can see how well that they do and how well they're received, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can receive these same kind of accolades, and it's like I just gotta believe that I can and push myself to it.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. And we have a whole goth conversation going between Anthony and Sarah right now. And Michaela Jade, who, by the way, check out her work on Amazon. She's got 2 books out right now, Warrior's Secret, Warrior's Trust, and working on that third one due out in March. Michaela wants to know, how many unfinished projects do you have right now?
Oh
And
my God.
remember, confession is good for the soul.
A lot. A lot. I have one that I have fully written that I am editing right now. That one is my sci-fi. And then I have numerous little stories that I have written that don't have anywhere to go. They're there. I have a few other things I've started on that I just haven't gotten around to finishing. And I call them my COVID creations. They're just there to keep me busy until something else comes along.
Mm-hmm. Do you get distracted easily?
Yeah, distraction happens easily for me. I try, and I know that I am so scatterbrained.
You're preaching to the choir here. Clyde Hall, good to see you, Clyde. Says, I'm bad and I'm proud with an Irish accent. Michaela further wants to know, how many hours a day do you spend writing? How much of your day is taken up with writing?
How many hours in a day do I spend writing? I probably will average about at least an hour a day writing. And that's just, little bits here and there because I write on my phone basically. So I carry it with me everywhere I go because I don't always have an idea when I'm sitting at my desk. So I have it with me at all times.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. I put stuff in my phone and I forget to look for it. So, Sarah says, Lacey, as I've shown up late, are you into the gothdom?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't look like it right now. I have a tank top and a overshirt on, just some jeans.
She's dressed normally, so that way you have to get in close.
Yeah.
Michaela
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic. Michaela Jade wants to know, what has been the hardest scene to write for you so far of all your works? What's given you the most difficulty?
Anytime that I have to write interactions between people, because I'm not always good at judging what another person is going to say, so I'm not always a good judge of what my character might say.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, little interpersonal things are a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Now, in choosing like your horror stories for the Nightmare Oasis collections,
Mm-hmm.
did you ever run into a thing where you finish something, you're very happy with it, but you ask yourself, "Oh, should I put this out?"
I did, and I did for a couple of them, but I'm like, well, the worst thing they can do is just not like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
So,
No one's died from that yet.
yeah, exactly.
Now, Cindy Cap wants to know, do you put people you know in your stories?
Not really anybody that I know. I usually base characters off of multiple people rather than just a single person. So that way my characters are multifaceted and have a deeper, bigger personality than just, a product of my imagination.
Mm-hmm. Amy Hale says, yeah, I remember that altercation. That was nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Sarah's memorable con event was her dad, super Christian, shaking hands with the prior mayor of hell. Kodak moment with Master Ron Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
you've met
still
Ron.
have
You've
not
met
met
Ron,
Ron.
haven't you?
No, I have not met Ron. I have seen Ron. I would know when I meet him.
I would think so. And we have a vote, thumbs up from Anthony for loving the rabbit jokes. They are great. And Sarah's glad to meet a fellow goth, and Anthony right back at you. And we say that about Danville, except for the shootings.
That's like my favorite game to play at home is gunshot or firework.
Oh yeah, and let's see, Anthony says, love me some hordes of undead. Well, we try to give the people what they want. And
Yeah,
Jason Snyder says, great guest tonight. I
thank
fully
you.
agree with that. Jason runs a wonderful paranormal show in Southwest Ohio. I attended last year called Non-Con, and we do it in it's free admission for the public and for vendors as well. And also, it is genuinely haunted. Uh,
Mm.
Amy and I had to do like a little cleansing ceremony after just before we left. That's how bad it was. And there we go, Trevor. Yeah, there we go. Dollar Dreadful. See, my marketing idea has legs here. I'm telling
Ah,
you.
there we go.
Yeah, and the Eric Hawkins, who I know you know, is taking the time to assassinate my character. Said when Brian was a kid, erotica was on cave walls. Young man, get the hell off my dinosaur festoon lawn.
It reminds me of the South Park episode where they discover boobs and they're just drawing circles on the wall.
Yes. That's what we did. And Sarah's mocking Eric with her laughter. And let's see. Oh, here's another good idea. How about the inside of fortune cookies? You know, you do short fiction.
Ooh.
That's
See,
Jason. You're
all of
on to
them,
something.
I would just put out, look behind you, and
Oh
then just
yeah.
watch everybody in the restaurant get scared.
There you go. Oh. See how this girl thinks. But no man wonder why I don't adore her. And anyway, now Carl is insulting Danville, Illinois. Anthony Beveau says, love Penny Dreadful, the books and everything about them and the shows.
Yeah, I love the show too.
You know, definitely. Kelly Sean Bocock, glad to see you here. And yeah, you got to go to Danville to understand it. We call it D Vegas for a reason.
Mm.
And Sarah's enjoying me being on the right side of the screen. Well, I'm figuring it's like reading. You know, it's like we tend to go in the Western world from left to right. So I figure Lacey gets the spotlight here. It's really shouldn't be about me. So, and Cindy Kemp has another joke. What do rabbits say before they eat? Let us pray.
That's cute.
It's funny. And let's see what else. Another comment dump. Yeah, we get these things here. I don't know if you've seen it on here, but
Mhm.
we'll be going along. I think I'm catching up. Then StreamYard just like pours a list of comments in on me, and suddenly I'm like an hour behind again. So anyway, and Anthony agrees. Lady Chatterley's Lover is a great erotic book. It
Mhm.
really is, and it shows you don't have to like use the base terminology of so many books now to get that feeling. So,
Yeah.
and here we go. And Anthony Beveau is claimed by a beautiful and wicked screen queen, Green Vixen. Oh, very cool about that. And I'm definitely up for friends. That's what we're all here, Anthony. We are all friends here.
Yes.
Yes, and definitely. And here we go. Nick Tockert asks, um, what media would you like to spread into? Graphic novels, which she is.
Mhm.
Film adaptation, maybe something self-referencing like Kara Nicole's work. Your modeling is impressive. Yes. We should say that Lacey, has been doing some, posting some pictures of herself on Facebook that are very nicely done and that show you off.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
and kudos to you for that. You can do anything but apparently take a bad picture. So would you like, let's take the first part of Nick's question there. Are there other genres, other mountains that you would like to climb?
I was actually climbing one when the second bout of restrictions hit, and we were set to start filming, me and Mike Ricci, a friend of mine in Carbondale, Illinois, and we were set to start shooting our short, and then two of our actors got COVID.
Ew.
And then I felt like the worst director in the entire world.
Oh no.
And
Oh,
it was
no.
like, lights, camera, cut, everybody go home.
Oh man.
So that was my first foray into filmmaking that I didn't even get to the set for. But oh well. I mean, come the spring, we're gonna pick it back up, and hopefully, we're gonna be able to, because it's a short, shouldn't hopefully take but more than a week to film. Get everybody there and back, and safely there and back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing I want to get into.
Well, and they are making, you read the trades right now, and they are making films and TV shows right now. And they're not necessarily segregating everybody like, say, a Mission Impossible does, but they are observing as many of the protocols as possible, and filming is getting done. So,
Mhm.
now, film adaptation. Now, you mentioned that you're going to do your directorial debut. Now, are you also going to maybe do the novelization of this story?
I doubt there will be a novelization. There might be a story version, but there might not be. I think it's just going to be a short. It's it's a really small project, just another one of my COVID creations that I have hanging in the air. I have another one with another friend of mine that he's a bit, up here in the upper echelon, so he can't always get back to us little people.
Is it anyone I know? Can you drop a name?
I don't know if I want to drop a name,
Cool
because
enough.
he's busy, so
Okay.
I don't want to flood his inbox with people.
Totally get it. Totally get
Yeah.
it. Now you mentioned Kara Nicole, who was a guest on the show a couple weeks ago, for her Fire Bitch comic, which is kind of sort of not, but is about her. Now, given that, you know, and I references modeling here, but do you have a character in mind for a future work that is pretty much a fictionalized version of you,
Yes.
more than the amount that we all put a little bit of ourselves in a single character or every character that we write? You do
Hmm.
have one? You want to tell
Yeah.
us about it?
And my sci-fi that I have written, it's called Undaunted, which I want to follow up the debut of it with a comic series called The Adventures of Captain Aelita Hawthorne. And Captain Aelita Hawthorne is based on me. And a lot of the, like I said, Homer Simpson-esque jobs I've had and things like that. She's a specially trained captain. She is the captain of this uh, force called, basically they're called, and now I just blanked out on the name of my own group of people there, because I've been working on it and my brain is just melt.
It happens when you get on screen. There's something about
I know,
StreamYard
right?
makes
There's
it
something
right.
about the camera. I just forget everything that I'm working on. But basically, they're called the worst of the best.
Mhm.
They're trained people, but they're too valuable for the Allegiants, who are actually the bad guys. You think they're the good guys. They're sort of like a Starfleet-esque, but very corrupt organization. Um, they're the first shot at a planetary alliance, but they're actually very evil. They sell drugs to planets to join, to get them hooked in order to get them to join up with them. So you see her start off being this, exemplary student captain, and then her subsequent, you know, trials and adventures through there. So basically, Aelita Hawthorne is just me in space.
Nice. Nice. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, earlier you said you hadn't met someone. I'm about to introduce you, Lacey.
Oh,
Meet Master Ron Fitzgerald.
hi,
He
Ron.
said he just got a Google alert for weird erotica. So I had to check this out. Hi, Brian. Ron, well, I love you, brother. I love the show you
That's
did last week
awesome.
with Lady India. That was a great
Oh,
show that you
thank
had.
you.
And happy birthday, Lacey. And see how he signed
Thank
the
you.
end of that, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
So now you've met Master Ron
Yes, now
Fitzgerald.
I've met Master Ron.
There you go. See, I tell you, you hang with me, girl. You hang with
Yeah,
me.
I had the opportunity to go and hang out with him, with you and KO that one time, but
Oh,
at SoCon, but I couldn't. I had to go.
yeah, yeah.
I missed that. I really wished I was able to go to that, because that sounded like fun.
we had a great time. We really did. And I came back with, if I could deny that the paranormal exists, my protests now would be quite feeble. Let's say that. I had some stuff happen to me.
Mm.
So yeah, but at least you got to meet Control Shona. So
Yeah,
that was
she's
good. We
really
had
cool.
lunch together. We had lunch, the three of us. That was cool.
Yeah, she's a really, really cool person.
She really is. And so is Ron. Ron, it's good to see you, guy. Hope you're
Yeah.
doing well. Check out fitzgeraldsrealm.com. And once a month, Ron has been doing some great magic shows from his dungeon. God knows what else is going on in that dungeon. It pays not to ask too many questions when it comes to Ron. So anyway, please check it out. Also, please check out his YouTube channel where he's running old episodes of his old cable access series. Yeah, it's great stuff. And plus, Ron, you know what Ron looks like. He's in these. This is back in his days when he kind of looked like Jareth from Dark Crystal. So he had like blonde hair down to his shoulders. Yeah, but it's the same Ron that we know and love.
Wow.
And let's see, here we go. Anthony Beveau has a really good question, I think, here. Lacey, do you like cryptids? And if so, do you have a favorite? Now, his is Bigfoot. Now, do you have any interest in cryptids?
I guess the cryptid that I like would be the chupacabra. Is that cryptid?
Yeah.
And then I guess I don't know if you consider it a cryptid or not, or an urban legend, but Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So them two, basically, yeah. But yeah, a friend of mine is really into the Bigfoot thing because her hometown has like this big Bigfoot statue.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Speaking of awesome, there's Jason Snyder. Good to see you, guy. And love the creepy, spooky fortune cookie ideas. I think you've got something there, Lacey. I'm telling you.
There we go.
Now, here's a deep question. Now, this is a great one from Michaela J. Yeah. What does success mean to you, Lacey?
Well, I mean, right now I am pretty successful. I have accomplished a lot of my goals that I have set out to do. I mean, not on any kind of grand scale, but they're accomplished. And I've made not a big name, but a really good name for myself in the community. So, I consider that as a success. I have content, I have, a good life, I have money, not a lot, but I do have money coming in from this and stuff like that. So, to me, I am already successful. So everything that I get on top of it is just more.
Yeah, and you're probably still setting, like you've got a little movie that you're going to be directing.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite an accomplishment right there.
Yeah.
And do you find yourself like, once you see where the goalposts are, setting them back a little so you always have something to shoot for?
I like that. Yeah.
That's what you should do, I believe. And Cindy Cap would like to know, what is your biggest pet peeve in stories? What would you read in a story that makes you want to throw a book or whatever across the room? Let's amplify that way.
As much as I love sci-fi, I despise time travel stuff. It's just such like the where are we, when are we trope is just so, bumbling idiot goes back in time. I hate that. It's just because it's just convenient. Plot point is convenient.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I personally, I love time travel stories, but I'm more the Doctor Who type.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one book. I'll see if I can find it sometime. It's called Up the Line by Robert Silverberg. It was written in the late 60s, and it's about a company that sells time travel to people. And the most profitable, it's kind of like a tour package, but you do it through time. And the most profitable one is the crucifixion. But you have to sign a waiver. You have to sign a document, rather. It's not an NDA, but you must promise while you're there, you cannot look to your left, or bless you, you cannot look to your left, right, or behind you. You must always look forward.
Okay.
because many people take the trip more than once, and you don't want to look at yourself.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
See,
So
now that is cool.
yeah, it's a wonderful book. I read it. Well, I was barely a teenager when I read it. And obviously it's stuck with me
Mhm.
all this time.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
an
and it
exceptional.
was, yeah, and it was, I know I go back to Family Guy a lot, but when Brian was killed off and everybody was like, "Oh my God, are we gonna have Vinny forever?" And I'm like, no, because they're just gonna use Stewie's time machine. I'm
Right.
like, as soon as the episode ended, I'm like, have you never watched this show?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's yeah, so it's a time honored trope, I guess.
It is. It is. And there was one episode of Doctor Who that you would probably like. It was done last not this last season, but the season before. The first year with Jodie Whittaker as the new doctor, the female
Mm-hmm.
doctor. And it was about Rosa Parks. And it was all about how, they kept, the travelers with the doctor kept saying, well, what can we do? Are we a part of history? And she was telling them, you cannot interfere with history. No matter what you
Mm-hmm.
do, you must not interfere. And it wound up at the end where um, somebody was trying to make sure Rosa never got on that bus.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, they had to have so many people there otherwise, and it's kind of complicated, but if there was a certain number of white people on that bus, Rosa would have to take the seat that she famously takes and does not surrender it. And it
Mm-hmm.
turns out that the main guy who's questioning the doctor about this, he's like, okay, I guess we've succeeded, we're going to make sure it works. And the doctor looks around and says, no, you have to stay in your seat, because if you leave, she can take a different chair, a
Mm-hmm.
different seat, and history will be changed. And so here's this man who hates the system. He's a woke kind of guy, and he
Mm-hmm.
hates the system that would force someone like Rosa Parks to have to defend where she sits. And
Mm-hmm.
suddenly he's helping make that bigotry happen. You see,
Yeah.
that's I think better writing is the key to time travel stories. So when
Yeah.
it works, it really works well. That's because of it. So
Mm-hmm.
here we go. Speaking of good writing, there's Cindy Kepsey, KOEPP.com, sign for a newsletter. What's the difference between a healthy rabbit and an odd rabbit? One is a fit bunny and the other's a bit funny.
That's adorable.
That is so funny. That is great. Michaela Jade has another great question here. If you could meet a famous author, which one would you like to meet? And I'll make this a two-parter here. You know how let's screw up the questions.
Yeah.
One living, one dead.
Okay, that's what I was going to be. Okay, so dead would be Mark Twain, and then alive would be Stephen King.
Yeah. Very cool. Very good answer. And Sarah, and Anthony are talking about goth music bands. And Anthony says, if you ever need actors, Lacey, I'd be very open to it.
Awesome, thank you.
There you go. And just to let you know, I have an Internet and Movie database page. Just saying. Anyway, and it's terrible how Brian sucks up. Anyway, Sarah says either Master Ron is lurking mode or he disappeared. The all elusive Ron Fitzgerald. We love him. We do. He's awesome. And there, yeah, see, yeah, you say his name 3 times and up he pops. Thanks, my friend. We'll all hang out together later. Damn right we will, Ron. I miss you guys, and so does Cookie. We gotta come up, watch your show sometime again if you don't mind. And Anthony Bouveau says both Chupacabra and Baba Yaga are very cool. Yes, they
Mm-hmm.
are. I'm a huge Mothman guy myself. Yeah, and Sarah agrees with me. The Mothman is a great cryptid too. And Sarah says, can't wait to hang out again, Master Ron. Maybe a trip to Bachelor's Grove. Definitely. And Christian Basil is here. Arise, Morris Monster, arise. And coming off of another great episode of Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, please join his Facebook page. Over 50,000 people follow that page. He is gaining more members all the time, so please make sure you're one of them, all right? And you mentioned tropes earlier. Lacey,
Mm-hmm.
you would like to know which is your favorite trope.
Oh, my favorite trope.
Yeah, go for
It's always, like, oh, the geeky guy is actually the killer.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
where it's like, you don't expect this, total loser, and they're actually this, horrific, terrible killer.
Very cool. Very cool. And Christian Basil, of course, says, "Hey, I go back in time quite a lot." That's true. You do. Uh, and let's see. And oh, Sarah's bless you. Sarah says, "Told I can't look left, right, or behind me, telling me that would make me do exactly that. I'd need
Hmm.
blinders and put on so I couldn't." Yeah. See,
Exactly.
thing is, this wasn't even a major part of the plot, so it's good stuff. If you like Robert Heinlein, I think I would recommend this to you. So, and let's see, and Christian Basil, of course, liquor or lurker mode. I can't tell the difference anymore. So yeah, we do that, and moi to Sarah, as do we all. And Cindy Cap says, "What do you get when you cross a rabbit with a leaf blower? A hair dryer." Love that. And Gospel Jake Lindsay is here. Gospel Jake, good to see you. Have you ever heard of a cryptid called the Wendigo?
Yes, I
I know,
have.
I know of it too. Very cool. And Sarah saying hello to her naughty altar boy, Christian. And let's see. And we are caught up on the comments. So, folks, please, this is your time to ask questions of our very able author here,
Yeah.
Lacye Lembcke. And let's see. Now you mentioned that you have that graphic novel you've been working on very
Yeah.
patiently for a number of years.
Hmm.
Now a lot of people think that writing comic books or graphic novels is fairly easy. Would you say how does it compare to say writing a short story or a novel?
It
Do
is
you
incredibly more difficult. A short story I can have out of my head in a matter of minutes. Writing the Naughty List, which is the graphic novel, it's a dark Christmas novel um, that focuses on the coal that is left for bad kids, but it's not left in their stockings, it's left in their beds. And the kids are then kidnapped. The coal turns into this golem type deal. And so the parents never notice that their children are missing. And those are the happy elves. And
Mhm.
so to see the rest of, his workshop and the way Santa runs things, which is just diabolical. Um, I had originally had a couple of other people set to draw this, and it didn't pan out, and so I had to. I asked my artist on the Silas Slaughter comic if he wanted to do it, and he said yes. So that's another project that is held off until we have the funds to do it because it's a big undertaking.
Mhm, mhm. And well, tell us, what were you thinking when you were looking for an artist for this? Because you have the visions in your head
Mm-hmm.
of how you want the book to look. What did you know? What How did you pick the artist you did? And we are not using his name for a specific reason,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
can explain what that is all about.
So I can't use his name because he has signed a contract with another company, and so his name can't be on any other work that is to be published within like X amount of time.
Mhm.
So he's either got to come up with a pen name or just not put his name on it, which I don't want him to do because it's super great art. What I was looking for was somebody who could deeply saturate the picture that could make it feel like it was almost like melting in your hand, almost kind of how you can almost feel how gritty it is.
Mhm.
And he does a really good job of that. Even his black and white sketches before that I showed you before he even adds color to them were
Yeah,
amazing.
they are great
Yes.
storyteller.
So I'm ecstatic to get Silas Slaughter out, and then we can work on the naughty list.
Mhm, mhm. Now, what did you find most challenging about writing a comic script? What aspect of it did you find the most daunting that you had to overcome?
I had never written a comic script. I never even knew what to start writing. So what I did was I just pictured the book in comic form in my head and tried to put the text with the bubbles inside of my head. And so I tried to write it out with like a little bit of descriptive text for the character and then their line, and then, descriptive text like, here, this is what you're seeing in this box, and this box, and this box.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Your sound went a little tinny there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Are you
Sorry,
on a microphone or something, or?
No, it's probably just my phone.
Okay, well, we can still hear you, and let's see here. Hold on a second here. I can actually edit microphone settings. I was trying to explain that we could do a little magic here, and yeah, and talk to me now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Good. We're a little clearer there. It's
All
a little better now. Maybe the phone will clear up. Phone, you're on notice now. Anyway, Cindy Kemp would like to know. Actually, she's got a couple really good questions here, and we'll get back to the previous one. What is your next project?
The next project that I am working on, or that I'm going to finish?
Both.
The next project that I'm going to work on is my calendar for next year. That's going to that are going.
Hold on a second.
Oh no, I'm going in.
Okay, no, we got it fixed. We got it fixed.
Okay. All the proceeds from the calendar sale for the when I go to a convention, they're going to go directly to the Finding Forever spay and neuter clinic, because they're all going to be like boudoir shots of me with all my rescue animals. So it's going to basically raise awareness for rescue animals and help fund their spay and neuter clinic.
Very cool. That's
and then hopefully the project I hope to have finished will either be the children's book with Candace Camilleri or the Silas Slaughter comic, whichever one of those I can get to first.
Fantastic. That sounds so cool. Let me do one more thing here, and okay, we are good. Okay, there we go. All right. Just fix something in StreamYard so that people can hear what you have to say, because you got a lot to say. Cindy Kemp would also like to know, and this is an awesome question. I never thought of this one. What would your favorite character carry in a pocket?
My favorite character that I created?
Sure. Sure.
Okay, favorite character that I created would have in their pocket? Probably a vape pen.
Okay, what about a character you didn't create? Your favorite character?
A favorite character that I didn't create would have in their pocket? Probably nothing interesting, just probably loose bills and random keys and maybe like a die that they found or a cool rock or something.
Oh man! So who is this favorite character? I'm curious.
In Zen of the Misty Vales, Dorby.
Okay.
And she's a little rogue fairy, so whatever shiny bits she wants to pick up.
That is funny. That's great. Cindy Kemp wants to know, what is a rabbit's favorite game? Hopscotch. and Lacey just lost it there. Oh, we just lost Lacey. Lacey, come back. Hopefully. See what your joke did. And there she is.
There we are. Got you back.
Wow, I knew that joke was funny. I didn't think it was that funny, for God's sake. Wow. Oh,
no, I'm set up on a little bucket here, and it got knocked.
I understand that, but I got to compliment your lighting is great. You're at face level. This is how broadcasting should be. You done good, which is why I need to teach a StreamYard.
Yeah.
Anyway, Darren Tanner, let's see. Good question here. Do you have crossover characters that move between books and series?
I have a couple. Detective Hargrove, he goes back and forth between a couple different stories here and there. But I think he's really the only one so far that I've moved around. I have others in my head that I haven't placed everywhere. But
Very,
yeah,
very cool. Now, Jake, we don't know yet. We've got till
not
September.
sure.
We got till September. So,
Yeah.
but but Gospel Jake will be there. So will I. So will Keith H. Who's been at SilCon. And also, Amy Hale will be there, and Charles F. Millhouse, and Molly Daniels, and the usual list of reprobates and people of ill repute. We're glad to be there again. And
Mhm.
let's see. And let's what? And Christian Basil says, Lacey, say Houston, we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes, there we go. And then Christian died.
Yeah.
And Sarah goes, this has not been asked already, but to what area do you go for cons?
I usually stay in the southern Illinois, western Indiana, central Illinois area, but I have been down to Mississippi, that area for a con. That's about the furthest that I've been.
All right. Excellent. And Anthony Beveau asks, do you have a favorite horror place and paranormal place in the world?
Waverly Hills for both.
Oh, nice choice.
Love Waverly Hills. I follow them on Facebook. They're really cool.
Very, very nice. And Sarah goes, oh, Lacey, I love the Fae folk. And Anthony agrees that they are awesome. And yeah, Cindy, she just couldn't handle your awesomeness. What can I say?
Yeah, I didn't mean to give her the jitters.
Yeah, really. And apparently the goths took over this specific YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's right. That's okay. We love goths. We are all over it. So here we go. Now, of all the cryptids, and we've mentioned a few here, do any give you nightmares? And if so, which one?
No, none of them really.
There you go. She's meaner than any of them. I've seen her. She's fierce.
I fear no creature.
That's true. She does not. She does not fear me, especially. And Cindy Kep has an interesting question here. How would your favorite character use a bucket in the solution of the plot?
How would my favorite character use a bucket in the solution of the plot?
Wow.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I guess maybe to scoop up the goo.
Oh,
that's all I can guess.
But enough about the erotica. Anyway,
yeah.
Cindy Kep goes, where do rabbits learn how to fly? In the hair force.
That's cute.
That's great. We love your jokes, Cindy. CKOEPP.com. So yeah, you've had quite, like I said, you've had quite a bit of, quite a career for such a short time. That
I will throw myself at anything for to get my name out there.
Obviously, you're here, so
yeah. I mean, let's see. I did an interview with Mike Ricksecker when we were at SoCon.
Great
so
guy.
I think he put a story that I told him in his book. So that was a pretty cool interview. It was just one of those, we were just standing around talking because there wasn't anything else to do at SilCon.
Yeah. There are slow times at every show. So
but I get some of my best work done then.
There you go. And the cryptid called the Skinwalker gives me nightmares. Have you seen a Skinwalker before? Ooh, I've heard of them.
No, I know what a Skinwalker is, but no. And I've never had really a nightmare from one or anything like that.
Yeah. It's, the closest I can say is I was driving through a small town on the way home. Might have been the murder village that you might.
No, yeah, Murder Town.
Yeah, Murder Town. But I saw somebody there who was leaning against the signpost, welcoming you to the town, and he looked like Slender Man. So
So no stopping for hitchhikers.
Oh, hell to the no. Like 30 mile an hour, no, 20 mile an hour speed limit through town, and I've got both feet on the accelerator. So yeah. Darren Tenner would like to know, at any point in your erotica, have you utilized or featured a fez?
No, but I can.
Oh, please, for the love
I'm.
of God.
I'll give him my best shot.
There you go. There you go. And let's see. Here we go. Cindy Cap has another question. If your favorite book character was in the last TV show you saw, what kind of plot would result?
My favorite book character was in the last TV show I saw. All right, so that puts them in The Simpsons.
Okay.
All right,
I feel better
so
already.
oh gosh, I don't know, something terrible. It would probably end up being a more Lisa-centric episode with Homer screwing something up. You know, shoving a crayon up his brain again or something like that. Or up the guest brain.
Yeah, there you go. And let's see. Cindy Cap wants to know, why don't rabbits get hot in the summertime? That's because they have hair conditioning. Oh, and let's see here. And Christian Basil says, throw anything. And here we go. And Jake says, I heard a legend where a husband killed his wife because she got bit by a skinwalker. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so oh dear. That's not recommended.
Wow.
And let's see, and yeah, we've got Wendigo Gospel Illusionists, Jake. Yeah, Wendigos are pretty insidious.
Yeah. I remember reading a story about them when I was little. I
Yeah.
remember that was not so much scary, it's just very interesting. That was one of the first cultural things that I had really heard the story about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and somebody else here, I believe you'll remember, Molly Daniels.
Hi.
Home from
I
the
got lots of pictures with Molly.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. We love you, Molly. Hope you had a good day so far. Hope your evening's even better. Cindy Kemp would like to know, what's your favorite setting for stories?
Oh, you, huh?
Do you have one? Do you have like a specific setting that you is kind of like your go-to?
No, not really. Everything sort of starts off different. I don't really have one single place that I go.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still have a little bit of time left if anyone has any more. Bless you, darling.
Sorry.
But or as Cookie always tells me, Domino, 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 you're a pizza. So anyway, let's see, and and Jake is hearing things. He thinks he heard the Bigfoot calling his name. And yes, I credited you with the picture that graced this episode. It was from a picture you took. So you know. So let's see. Oh, here we go. Why did the rabbit like the story? Asked Cindy Cap. It was a hair-raising tale.
That's good. I need to put that on there. That she needs to write that review. Hair raising, Cindy.
There we go. There we go. And bless you from Gospel Jake and from Cindy. And yes, Sarah, come up with your questions. This is a golden opportunity for one of the reasons we do the show. Aside from the fact I get to talk to my friends, and wow, we haven't talked like this in ages.
I know, right?
I should do that. I'm a terrible friend. But here we go. We've got one here.
Okay.
What horror places have you visited?
I have been to the Chittyville School, and I have been to I don't know if you consider Indian mounds to be like horror places because it is a graveyard. But I've been to a lot of burial mounds, to a lot of cemeteries. I've been to Deadwood, and I got to see the grave of Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane. That was really cool. I've been to the Mark Twain Cave and saw Jesse James's hideout, and all that. The Mark Twain Cave is a really good horror setting. Uh, all over. I used to live in the Shawnee National Forest where I grew up. So all over, I lived basically in the woods. So woods is always a good horror place.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Trevor Hawkins, what intellectual property would you like to write? If you had a chance to write any sort of TV show, movie, comic book, what have you, what do you think you would like to tackle? For me, it would be, of course, Doctor Who, probably.
I think that I would be probably really good writing for South Park.
Oh, you have the right attitude for South Park.
Yeah, I think I would be really good on South Park.
Yeah. Kenny would never have died so creatively. I will guarantee you that. And Cindy Kemp would like to know, what's the most challenging part of writing horror?
Not knowing if I'm going too far or not far enough.
Mhm.
So I sort of have to trust my instincts on it.
Well, like, what would you consider too far?
I don't know because I haven't really reached that limit yet. Every time I think that I've hit that, then I go, nah, I can do worse. I can do way worse than this.
I find that more reassuring than hearing you say, well, I better pull back, you know?
Nah, I don't really pull back a lot.
Mhm. And that's true. And Anthony Beveau says you should visit the Limp Brewery. Okay, I don't know anything about that. If you want to give us a little more detail. And damn,
Yeah.
Deadwood, yeah. Oh, Sarah has a great question. Do you leave offerings for the burial grounds?
Um, I didn't. I actually went to another place. I went to St. Louis Cemetery when I was in New Orleans, which is where Marie Laveau is buried.
Oh,
I didn't have a hair tie or a bobby pin to leave on her grave, but I would have because I don't really believe so much in ghosts, but I believe in respect. And so she was a lady to be respected. But I think we left like a couple coins on Wild Bill Hickok's grave, and other people had left money, bottles of liquor, bullets, cigarettes, stuff like that.
mhm. Cindy Kemp wants to know, what do you call two rabbits racing down the road? The Fast and the Furious.
That's cute.
Yes. And Gospel Jake says you should visit Bobby Mackey's in Wilder, Kentucky. I'm not familiar with.
I've heard of that place.
I think I've heard
It-
of it too, but I'm not familiar.
yeah, I think it's a restaurant
Ah, okay.
that's supposed to be haunted.
Yeah.
Now I went to Grafton, Illinois, and I went to Abigail's Tap House, and that place is supposed to be haunted too.
Hmm. Wow. Well, that's the thing. We keep promoting non-con on here. If we are able to travel, I'm going to definitely recommend that to you, Lacey, because it's in a haunted school where
Oh, nice.
a number of deaths had occurred, and
Mm.
we had some phenomena happen. So it's a little tough to deny this stuff after going there for 2 days. Plus, kudos to Jason and Keith and everyone involved with that.
Mhm.
We got our temperatures taken, and we had to wear masks and everything. We had to stay safe down there, so it was all good. And Christian Basil announces that he's having evil thoughts. This is my surprise look. See, but anyway, and Anthony Beveau says, "I've heard Kentucky has a hell of a lot of dangerous but weird supernatural stuff." That's the thing. I think almost every state in the union has
It does.
sort of creepy and potentially fatal uh, paranormality going on. And Sarah says there's never going too far. No, and
Mhm.
we agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Too much is
And I
never.
come from an area that has the Crenshaw House. It's called the Old Slave House. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah, yeah, I have heard of the
Yeah,
Crenshaw.
that's in the area that I grew up.
Okay.
So I understand. Yeah, there's no shortage of supernatural sightings and anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the area I grew up in Illinois, we had a character, and I understand that a lot of other smaller communities have somebody like this. He was called Blue Flame, and it's the idea that he was like a moonshiner, and
Hmm.
he was cooking up some stuff one night and wound up accidentally getting himself caught on fire. And so he went around like kidnapping and the usual stuff, kind of a Freddy Krueger type.
Hmm.
That was who we had in our community. So let's
Yeah.
see. Uh, Molly Daniel says this may have been asked already, but who is your favorite horror author? I don't believe it
I
has.
said, I thought it was asked, but it's R.L. Stein.
R.L. Stein. Okay. Well, we
Yeah.
asked about general authors, but
Yeah. But I
horror.
think, yeah, because he does horror.
Yeah, yeah. And Carleen says, "Yep, Limp Brewery would be cool to visit." Yes, indeed. Darren Tenner says, "I've heard Stephen King writes about things that scare him. Do you write about things that scare you?" Excellent question, Darren.
A lot of my stories are actually based on nightmares that I've had because I can actually remember quite a bit of my dreams, or even if I don't remember it, I can at least fill in the blanks for a good story.
There we
So
go.
I guess, yeah, in a way, yeah, it is based off of things that do scare me.
Yeah. And Sarah Star asks, "Did you hear that Marie's gravesite is now permanently closed due to vandalism?"
I'm not surprised.
Oh, no, that's a shame.
People are they're just animals.
Yeah. And Jake wants to know if you've ever been to the kill site of Bonnie and Clyde.
No, I have not, but I love gangsters, so that would be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. Cindy Cap wants to know, what do you call a bunny transformer? Hopitus Prime. Keep them coming. And
Yep.
Anthony Beveau, glad you're here, Anthony, says the Limp Brewery was host to the Limp family, who all tragically took their lives in the Limp Mansion, which is now haunted, and it hosts tours and has Halloweens and seance events. Very
Interesting.
Yeah, seriously so. And yes, Gospel Jake will be at NonCon with the rest of us. So please attend. That's going to be the last weekend of September. It's going to be a good time. And yeah, it's unfortunate that things have caused that to happen. So
Yeah.
we all agree. And Sarah asks, aren't we all having evil thoughts, Christian? I yeah, I think so. Anyway, and let's see. Yes, it is, says Anthony Beveau. I love New Orleans so very much, and that is tragic.
Mhm.
Now, Sarah says, I have a feeling that those who vandalized your grave have some karma coming back to them. And you know what? That would make an excellent story. And
Mhm.
Carly tells Anthony, I saw the episode of Ghost Hunters where they investigated Lamp Brewery. Very interesting. And let's see, here we go. And Carleen is hoping to be at NonCon this year. We'll bring the dowsing rods.
Mhm.
That's something I've seen other people do. I've never really gotten into that. So and she loves big houses. Carly has a thing for big houses.
Mhm.
Lives in a house too. And Anthony will be at DeadCon in Fort Wayne, Indiana from October 15th to the 17th, 2020.
Mm.
That sounds very, very cool.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking by the second half of the year, we're going to see some more shows opening up. And, especially
Yeah.
the, uh, the, uh, the vaccines get a little more rollout. So, and here we go. We wore out Gospel Jake. Ha ha ha. You young people, no stamina. And I can't think of any more questions. I'm whooped. Much love to you guys. Much love to you, Jake. Thank you for being here, brother. We win. We win. And here we go. And it's his first big horror con. Well, I hope you have a good time, man. I seriously do. It sounds like fun. And Darren Tenner says, are there themes to your erotica?
So far it's still like horror-based erotica. They're just little short, scary, like little jumpstart stories. I haven't written a lot of like really in-depth erotica, but I am open for commissions if anybody wants, a story or anything like that.
There you go. Get one custom made.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of a kind. So seriously. Well, and that's something I've done in the past. I would carry they're blank comic book covers. Now this one is drawn on, but it's blank.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody could draw on it. And somebody asked me one day when I was selling some for Spencer's Milk, and it's like, well, do you draw? And I'm like, dear God, no. And so they said, well, how about writing me a story on the front of one of those? Which I did. So
Mm-hmm.
and you're very welcome, Anthony, and I'm sure you'll love it. It sounds like fun. I may have to see if I can get in there myself.
Yeah.
It's like what do you say, Fort Wayne? Yeah, Fort Wayne's only about 3 hours from me, and they have a Tim Hortons there, about 5 6 miles.
Oh.
Not that I've researched any, or that I have a great fondness for Tim Hortons. Addiction is what I have. But anyway, and it looks like we have run through the questions here.
Yeah.
So so what are you looking forward to in the next few months?
Hopefully things getting probably not back to normal. Normal is gone, but at least functional. Where we can get back to having a functioning world, that'd be nice. I'm looking forward to, being able to go back out and sell stuff and have, make content and make art and, make new friends, because I got plans, but this COVID thing has just really put a damper on them.
Yeah. Oh, you're the one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's all about her. Anyway, and Cindy Cap would like to know, what's your favorite vacation place? That's a good question.
My favorite vacation place is Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Disney fan. I love anything Disney. I have so much Disney merch and Nightmare Before Christmas merch. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever been to Universal?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I've been there. That was fun. I went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, all that stuff.
We went in, I think it was like 2000, and we got there just as the gates opened. And I don't know when you were there, but we were greeted by the three Marx brothers on unicycles. Okay, which already is cool. But Groucho was riding up to all of us, yelling at the top of his lungs, "Go home! The rides are all broken, and we've run out of food." And I'm like, I'm gonna love this place.
That's amazing.
It was great. And Cindy Kemp, we're gonna have a couple more. We're gonna have a joke, a question, and a joke.
Okay.
Rabbits sing at birthday parties. Happy birthday to you. Which, by the way, is still copyrighted. I just probably got a copyright strike there.
Yeah.
Where would your favorite character go for vacation?
Where would my favorite character go for vacation?
That's an interesting question. When you're building your character to ask.
Probably somewhere quiet, somewhere they could be alone. Maybe like a nice warm vacation somewhere, some tropical island. Just hang out on a hammock and read a book.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fun for any of us. Molly would like to spend a month in Orlando, hit Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, and then take a day trip back to Busch Gardens.
That'd be a fun trip.
That would be fun. And two more jokes from Cindy, but we'll dole them out here. What do you call a very rich bunny? A billionaire. And Darren Tenner would like to know, what is the most inspiring horror film to you? And his is The House on Horror Hill. That's a marvelous movie there.
The most inspiring would be probably The House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price.
Anything with Vincent Price.
Mm-hmm.
That man could read a laundry list. I would go for it.
It'd be all of a sudden, why am I scared of Tide?
Yeah, and I would be. And Anthony says, I'd like to visit the Tower of London. Now, there's a place for history.
That'd be really cool.
That would be. And Cindy Cap, we're going to make this last joke of the night. Which pair of rabbits were famous bank robbers? Bunny and Clyde.
That is hilarious because that reminds me of a story.
Let's hear it.
When I very first got started with Doe Bunny and Clyde, and I copyrighted everything and was trying to promote and market myself, I had this dude email me, And he goes, we already have this movie called Bunny and Clive, and your name is really close, and you use the same color. So I would really appreciate it if you just went ahead and not did your thing. And I'm like, okay, well, first off, the audacity. Like, who are you to tell me anything? So I wrote out this big, long, nicely worded letter that basically said, fuck you, I'm going to do whatever I want because I can. And I actually went and watched his thing. It's like a little film. And it's like 45 minutes long. And I'm like, in what universe would we even be remotely close to each other?
Yeah.
But this dude had the audacity, because his show was named Bunny and Clyde, to contact me and tell me to, change my name. He's like, but you seem attached to the bunny, so it's okay if you keep the bunny. Like, oh, well, so good gracious. Thank you, sir, for letting me keep my own character, you jerk face. Who do you think you are?
Oh my God. I think I just saw the definition of mansplaining there.
That was horrible.
Oh my God. Bless you.
So basically, yeah. And I tell Nathan all of this, and he's like, what is this? Because he couldn't even figure it. Just this random dude out of absolutely nowhere tries to tell me I can't have my bunny or my name, my show.
Right.
And so I basically, I think I ended the letter on the note of, well, I'm going to anyway, so bye. And then he never contacted me again. But that made me think of that, and I'd almost forgotten about that story till she made that joke.
Yeah, I'd forgotten it. You've told me that story. I love it. Yeah. So
Well, that's been one of my weirdest interactions too.
yeah. So anytime you have any sort of interpersonal relationships that are of a delicate nature, contact Lacye Lembcke to have her handle them for you.
Apparently.
Yeah, she can do this sort of thing. So I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find that I've had that happen to me. Not to make this about me, of course, but like somebody was kickstart, like this is about 3 or 4 years ago, and somebody was kickstarting a movie called Santa Sign, and people were asking me if I was going to sue him. I'm like, no. I'm sure I'm not even the first one to come up with that name. Let him do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But like you, I researched his Kickstarter because I'm like, well, just in case. And I'm like, he was saying this is a horror comedy. Well, he was half right. It was horrible. So anyway, I didn't feel too bad about that. And listen, I also announced a character that I wanted to do a book about in comics, a public domain character, and somebody else was doing we were trying to make it like the original version, which was kind of stupid and fun and lighthearted and kind of a little dopey a little. But he was doing a grim and gritty version where this character's life is ruined and everything. And everybody's like writing me going, well, you can't do that story now because so-and-so's doing it. I'm like, it's public domain. Read between the lines. I can, I can do whatever I want. So,
yeah.
But everyone, see now, sometimes you may wonder why I have people on other than they're my friends. And I have some people on that, I don't know all that well, but, I'm friends with Lacye. She's a dear friend of mine. And, I think you just got a lesson tonight in school, schooling in how to manage your career and the attitude to take. You tell him about the guy to go love himself violently. And I'm like, I that's the perfect attitude. Because we all face so many people that say we can't do it. And we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't even try, the gatekeepers and anything. And that's something. Have you run into a lot of people that were kind of like naysaying you when you decided to?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But you know what? I have 3 books and a web series under my belt. What do they have?
There you go. There you go. And I do it because of the naysayers.
Yeah.
Fueled by spite. So
I'm going to get that tattooed on me somewhere.
I want to be there when it happens. But anyway, bad pride. So anyway, folks, remember, Lacye is her works are available on Amazon, and we're going to blow that up there so you can see. Let's see if I can do a trick here. I'm going to try something here, see if that works.
Woo.
Did it work? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's down. Yeah, you can see the first one.
Your screen. So she has Nightmare Oasis, Zin of the Misty Vales, and Nightmare Oasis 2. So please give this wonderful lady a little bit of support if you would, please. And that's on Amazon.com. And Lacye, it's been wonderful. Thank you for being here, hon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
It has been fun. So anyway, we're going to give you one last spotlight dance here, and then please tell everybody how they can keep up with your exploits.
Well, if you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Facebook. You can follow my modeling page, Raven's Geek Noir. I'm taking a short break from the Facebook stories and stuff like that to sort of work on some other things right now. But you can find Dope Bunny and Clive on YouTube, and we're hoping to add more to that soon when I can get some time to send out some voice clips. Don't forget to look up Nightmare Oasis 2 and the Art of Candace Camilleri. Nightmare Oasis 1. If you're worried, if you want to get one and don't know if you want to get the other one, they're not sequential, so you can buy the second one, and then if you want the first one, that's fine. Zin of the Misty Vales. If you have a young adult in your life that likes fairies and witches and things, they'll enjoy that. All three of those are available on Amazon, where you can find the first two Nightmare Oasis at Cherry House Press. You can find Dope Bunny and Clive on YouTube, or you can find me selling DVDs at cons, or you can contact me directly for a DVD or a signed copy of any of the books, or any of the modeling images that you see, or any of the stories you want written. Feel free to contact me. I have Twitter, that's Lacye Lembcke at Twitter, and you can follow me on Instagram at author Lacye Lembcke, or if you want to follow my modeling page, then you can follow me at Raven Nightmare.
Excellent, excellent. And we got a couple more things here. Cindy Kep says, thanks for hosting the adventure. Great fun had by all. Cindy, thank you for being here. We'll probably see you in the morning with any luck. And then we've got one more person, another voice from your past, Lacye.
Oh. Hi.
We've been saying nice things about you, Ariana.
Yeah.
Cherry House Press. Please do a Google search for her. They've got a lot of great publications, including the first two Nightmare Oases. So pick them up today, if not sooner. And it's okay. We're glad you're here. Thank you for showing up. Much love to you and John.
Yeah.
You're doing well. And good to see you, Lacye, says Molly Daniels. So
yeah, good to see you too, Molly.
Yeah, and was very great to meet you, says Anthony Bouveau.
So, you as well.
All right, and it has been fun. Thank you for being here, hon.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
It has. Now, like we discussed earlier, I'm going to mute you and take you out of the scene. I've got some business, and then when the show wraps up, I'll say goodnight to you, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Lace. Okay, here we go. We're muting her. But I'm the only person that can silence her at this moment because I have the controls. Wah, haw, and haw. Anyway, and I love the out of you, Brian, and love to Lacye. Well, thank you very much, Sarah. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your great questions. And Cindy Cap, as always, thank you for your great jokes. And thank you to Plasma Fire Graphics when the look of your book matters to you because it matters to your readers. So it should matter to you. Check out plasmafiregraphics.com and their page on Facebook so that you can talk to Jeffrey Hayes and see all the cool things he does to help your book look so much better. And thank you to geekinsider.com for powering this show. We definitely appreciate that. And as always, folks, please, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed Lacye at all, first of all, check out her work on Amazon and on Facebook. Also, please, go to risingtide.pub and please sign up for my monthly newsletter. The next issue is going out, I believe, this coming Monday at around 5 p.m. Please sign up for that so you get the next issue. We have all kinds of motivation, education, and inspiration, special videos, special secret links, quotations, all kinds of cool stuff. And Anthony, thank you very much. You freaking rock too. Look forward to having you on soon. And also, please, whatever page you're watching us on, if it's on YouTube, please like the page. Also, if you're on Facebook, subscribe, share the video with your friends so everybody can see Lacye and see what cool people you know. And as always, don't forget the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We are a thing. Tomorrow we'll have Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Then on Thursday, it's going to be a great day of entertainment as we're going to have 12:05. Joe Dog McKeel will be hosting lunchtime at the Dog House. At 8 p.m., we're going to have a special edition of Clever Title Pending. We're going to talk to the one, the only Meredith Loughran. She has just recently concluded a very successful Kickstarter campaign for her very first published book. And it's a book of horror. And so she's got stuff to teach. Get your pen and paper, take notes. It's going to be a fun time. And she's a great lady. You will love her. And also at 9 p.m. that night on the network, we're going to have Stupid O'Clock. Joe Dog McKeel and his usual band of friends will get together, the Skunk Rocker and all. We'll be having that great after convention hours discussion that we all enjoy. You're going to break out in a sweat trying to keep up with the discussion. Then Friday morning at 10 a.m., we'll have Nevermind the Furthermore with me again. And then this Saturday at 11 p.m. will be another episode of Stupid O'Clock. Also, don't forget the after show. Those are always fun. And I will also be appearing at 10 p.m. on the Exengy Studios. That's X-I-G-E-N-C-Y, Exengy Studios YouTube page, and I'm going to be interviewed by a great artist, great interviewer, Joe D. McPhee, who's a frequent guest in the chat here. And he's a great guy, and I'm really looking forward to hanging out with Joe and taking your questions. So please come visit us. And that's all we've got tonight. Again, another special thank you to Lacye Lembcke for being on the show, and hope you got a lot out of her. I promise we will ask her back if she's willing, if I haven't terrified her yet. But anyway, we hope you all have a great evening. Thank you again for your great questions, your great comments. And I guess all that's left to say is stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great week, everyone. See you next time on Clever Title Pending.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
This is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
Thank you for tuning in to Clever Title Pending, a Rising Tide Publications and Brian K. Morris production. A member of Comic Book Advocating Network and sponsored by GeekInsider.com. Become part of our show with sponsorship and advertising opportunities. For details, contact advertising at GeekInsider.com or visit podcast.geekinsider.com. The Geek Insider podcast is available on your favorite app, so please hit the follow button and share it out to your friends. Because if you don't, you might have to turn in your geek card.